What's up, everybody? I'm Candice.
And I'm Nathan, and you're watching Gross Angeles, the video podcast that explores the weird and wonderful.
Today, we're at the Disgusting Food Museum in downtown Los Angeles, California, and we're about to find out what makes some foods disgusting.
Why is one country's delicacy another country's barf maker?
And why do we love some foods but hate others? And more importantly, what is the most disgusting food on the planet?
So we've just arrived at the Disgusting Food Museum, and we didn't know what to expect when we first got here, but upon arriving, it is like a kind of abstract art installation, almost. They've got lots of tables set up here with food from around the world.
We'll be able to smell a bunch of the stuff that's on the tables here, and then eventually we're going to get to the actual tasting of the disgusting foods, and that's why we have barf bags. Isn't this neat? They give you a barf bag as your admission ticket.
We noticed when walking in, these were on the front. Hopefully these come into use.
I hope not. Wait, I just want to talk about the smell in here. It just smells like rotting, putrid, I don't know what it is. Like if you could ever be offended by an odor, it's really overwhelming and I just want to go back outside.
It's now time for the Gross Angeles Sniff Test!
We're going around these tables, and I want to be as hands-on as we can be. So, Candice, get in there, pick it up, and I don't want a little... I want you to do a big...
Why do I have to do
big
it?
full nostril full.
Escamoli, which is a velvety tree ant egg and larvae. Delicacy that dates back to the Aztecs.
That's a bit eggy.
Corn smut is a plant disease caused by corn fungus.
La coche.
I don't think you should sniff that. No, seriously, it was fungus in your lungs. You don't have health insurance yet.
It's not so bad. What do you mean? It's a delicacy. They put it in truffles. I'm not going to get plagued by sniffing. I don't think they would allow that to happen here. Garum from the Roman Empire, sauce made by filling large vats with fish guts and letting them ferment in the sun for several months.
I'm gonna open it. Wait, let me try.
Duh.
I don't think it's that bad.
I didn't like it.
Some of these things are really creative, you know, you're like, how did they come up with these things? Here's what it says. Right after drinking milk, the baby goat is slaughtered while the milk is still in the stomach. And the infant's stomach containing the undigested milk is rubbed with salt and hung to dry for several months. Oh, it's a cheesy sack.
I eat a lot of food, but I've got a relatively delicate constitution. I once ate an egg mayo sandwich that had been left in my mum's fridge too long. And I got like food poisoning and I was throwing up for like 4 days. That was as close to death as I've been. Anyway, the stinkier the tofu, the better the taste, says China.
No.
No?
That was really bad. Do you want to try it?
This is our crew for the day.
Hello. Am I supposed to smell this? That's a diaper. That's a full diaper.
It's time to learn, because knowledge is power!
We've done the tour of the installation. Now we're here at the tasting bar. And Adrian at the tasting bar, and we are going to get to try some foreign delicacies, to put it mildly. So, Disgusting Food Museum, you're the operations manager here.
Yes.
What got you involved in that?
Basically the love of food. Being in the industry, in the restaurant industry, and seeing every ins and outs of all of it has always been just a pleasure, as well as trying to find new tastes that we don't normally encounter. And this was literally the best experience I can have, in that not only having to use my resources into going around the markets, finding different items, which some of them you can see displayed, but as well as just getting to taste everything, which it's not often that you can get this kind of variety in one day.
Is there anything in here that you personally are like, I cannot stand, you can't get around?
The stinky tofu has still been the most difficult one to digest, but that's mostly just for the taste factor. Other than that, everything else has still stayed down.
Have you found that you've like developed a taste for some of these things, like you crave it now?
I wouldn't say crave, but I've learned new variations now on how to structure up different types of foods.
So if I'm right, the concept started in Malmö, Sweden, to begin with. Why was Los Angeles a natural destination for the next chapter?
Definitely, as for Los Angeles, we're one of the foodie capitals in the U.S. Where else best to start from? Closer to downtown, where we start already getting a lot of the mix and the smorgasbord of everything. Yeah, it's not all about shock, though. And this is where we're trying to teach cultural awareness of how disgust is learned.
So how does disgusting food work on the palate?
It picks up from fight or flight. Before getting into tasting, we start looking at the psychological aspects of where we grew up in and who raised us to tell us what is right and what is wrong.
Yummy, yummy, I can hear my tummy. It must be time for the taste test.
I don't know if I can do it.
Super worms. Oh, look at the beady head on that. It's dead.
I know, but
The best way I can describe the flavor to you is like sunflower seeds.
Getting the nuttiness. Visual is still in my head.
The head does separate sometimes. Cricket says you already know that you find all over the world. Asia is using it more as a stir fry and pate as a protein supplement. Middle East going into your curries and then even into your breads, where we're looking at flourless options. And now taking it to Central America or South America, where it's more used as a bar snack, to be honest. And usually seasoned with a little bit of lime and salt and chili. I would best compare the taste to seaweed meets soy sauce. It's usually served on toast or crackers. I personally myself would see this better placed on a plate and then with the short rib or brisket.
It tastes like Marmite. I like it.
Now, strangely enough, this is actually the one that's been getting the most vomits on the scoreboard. Sweden actually is up at 22 right now.
Sweden have been vomiting the most?
They've been open for about a month more than us. This is the North American Disgusting Food Museum. Sweden is now at 22.
Okay, and what are we on?
We're at
21.
Yes. Vegemite strikes again. This is a cabbage juice. This is normally found in Poland.
Do you want to do like a...
oh, are we gonna cheers?
Oh,
I like it.
I
like it.
Mixing it with... I'm just loving the reactions right now. I'm sorry. So we're going now into durian fruit. This is one of the stinkiest fruits in the world. This one, strangely enough, goes more on a genetic level, where you start looking at a lot of the items out here is culturally learned. This one actually does kick in the instinctual part. Take the smell in first. And if you can smell sweet tones,
I can smell sweet.
I can tell you that you'll like it right away.
How's the texture?
I mean, it's not good.
Are we getting to the danger zone now?
We're starting to cross into it. This is the cheese that is made inside of a baby goat's stomach after it's had its very first milk. And then they hang the stomach up with a little bit of salt and yeast into it just to get it to start maturing.
I was pretty fine until you said baby goat stomach.
Now, as you can tell, the flavor is sticking to the palate very strongly. And you got a little bit of a numbness also to your to taste as well. That's the enzymes from the stomach lining. Next, we go into... This is the hakarl, the Greenland shark, served in Iceland. The Vikings discovered this out of necessity, and they basically, because these are bycatch only, they can't be fished, they buried it on the shoreline, and then they urinate on top of it to bring out the toxicity, because in its blood level is similar to antifreeze, and it's a deep water fish, so that's also the other factors that you got to keep in mind for its toxic levels.
Someone peed on my shark that I'm about to eat.
There's books on this, which I still don't know exactly which one, but I know that the we is in the fish.
The we is in the fish. Okay, cheers.
Yeah. See you on the other side. Bye-bye.
All right, go for it, man. You gotta tell me what.
Baby shark. Is that baby?
You did it.
What is it?
It's urinated shark.
Now you're gonna notice that the consistency is very chewy.
Oh no.
I'm okay. I didn't throw.
I heard spats.
I spit. It was a textural thing. The taste didn't do it. It was the texture. And then it went down and it lingered in my muscle memory.
Why do you hate us so much?
Very well known. What is this disgusting food, Adrian?
This is the fermented herring.
Wave a little piece in front of the camera.
Oh, it looks like a sardine.
Now the reason you're getting that smell is because it's fermented in its own brine. After it's already been used in fermented beforehand and then placed into here, but the brine still continues to the fermentation process. This is another reason why you can't have this on a plane, because it will create pressure and it will explode.
Okay, you eat it. You got
You gonna do a shot with us, Adrian?
I kind of figured that was going to happen at some point.
All for one and one for all.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to Disgusting Food Museum, Los Angeles. It's been nice knowing all of you.
Yes, here.
And bon appetit.
I want to. Oh wait, go away.
Control your mind. I went down. It's just the taste of this intense mold. It's the only way I can describe it is the texture wasn't so bad on that. It is like regular kind of canned fish, but you just get this wave of the kind of mildewy, damp kind of taste that you smell if you've left a wet sponge or something in the corner of the sink for 2 years. And yeah, that was just overpowering. It got me. You didn't throw up.
Well, no, I didn't. But okay, so it didn't gross me out. That's pretty gross. But the first taste for me was like a really salty, kind of sharp taste, and then it just tasted like rot or like
Corpse.
yeah.
I guess it's mission accomplished. 90% of the tasting on offer here, stuff I hadn't tried before. And there was some really gross stuff.
We're starting at the strong side.
I mean,
This is going.
and the amount of dishes that they had on offer here, how many did we try? Like 10 different things? That was an experience. A hell of an experience.
So there you have it. Los Angeles survived the Disgusting Food Museum of Los Angeles. If you want to check it out for yourself, make sure you go to the website, disgustingfoodmuseum.com, and get your tickets.
If you want to see more from us, go to our Gross Angeles YouTube channel. Make sure you like and share our videos so we can bring you more freaky content. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. So that's a wrap on that. How was your day, Candice?
Not as bad as yours. I didn't end up puking in the trash can. I'd ask you what your worst thing was, but I guess it was that fermented fish.
I knew it was going to be as soon as I smelled it.
I thought it was that second cheese we tried. It stayed in my teeth, and it was just the tiniest speck. It just kept going and going.
I was only close to puking on the shark in Viking piss, and then the surströmming. That had me. But I had a hell of a day.
I'm glad we did it.
Would you do it again?
No.
I tell you what, I would do it again. I would bring friends and make them do it.
Well, I was actually thinking it would be fun to watch other people
And
go through it.
you'd
but
have to partake
I
as
don't.
well.
Yeah, but knowing that you'd probably puke again, you do it.
Yeah, maybe I'd have a slightly different tactic. Maybe I'd be like, just swallow it. And be like,
well,
hey,
maybe because you know what to expect, it wouldn't be so bad.
it's fine. And just pretend to chew it just to make my friends eat it.
Yeah.
But I would come again, and I recommend everybody come down, check out the Disgusting Food Museum in downtown LA.